My family mocked my autistic son for years until his genius shamed them on a world stage. My name is Sarah, and from the moment my son Leo was diagnosed with autism, my family saw a label instead of a person. They saw his silence as a deficit, his intense focus as odd, and his different way of interacting with the world as a burden. But I saw his soul. I saw a deep, quiet ocean of intelligence and feeling that others were too impatient to understand. While they made jokes, I built a world for him filled with love, patience, and unwavering belief. The jokes at family gatherings were a constant low hum of cruelty. Leo would be lining up his toy cars in a complex, precise sequence by color and size, a ritual that brought him peace and order. My brother, Tom, would laugh and say, "Hey kid, they're cars. You're supposed to crash them, not sort them like a robot." My sister, Linda, would whisper just loud enough for me to hear, "It's so sad. He'll never have a normal life. Sarah's going to be taking care of him forever." Even my own mother would sigh and say, "If only you'd had him tested earlier, maybe they could have done something." I fought every battle for him. I said, "His mind is beautiful. He sees patterns you can't even imagine." But my words were a shield against a tide of their ignorance. We stopped being invited to big gatherings, and honestly, I was relieved. Leo and I created our own world, filled with books on quantum physics, complex puzzles, and long walks where we'd talk about the Fibonacci sequence in pine cones. I first realized the true depth of his mind when he was 7. I was struggling with a complex statistical model for my work as a data analyst. My spreadsheet, a mess of conflicting numbers. Leo, who had been quietly watching me, walked over, pointed to a single cell, and said, "The error is here. The formula is recursive. It's creating a feedback loop." He was right. A 7-year-old had diagnosed a problem that had stumped me for hours. That was the moment I knew. I wasn't raising a child with a disability. I was nurturing a genius who simply communicated his brilliance in a different language. I poured every resource I had into his education, finding mentors and programs that could challenge his extraordinary mind. For years, his focus was on cellular regeneration and protein folding. It was his special interest, the thing that consumed him. While other teenagers were at parties, Leo was in our garage turn lab, running simulations on a computer he built himself. The family, who we saw on rare obligatory holidays, still saw only his quiet demeanor and avoidance of eye contact. The breakthrough came when he was 16. He called me into his lab, his usually calm face alight with a fierce energy. Leo said, "Mom, I've done it. I found the key. The protein fold was wrong. Everyone was looking at it in a linear state, but it's tetrahedral under stress." He showed me his data. He had designed a synthetic protein that could bind to and repair the specific cellular damage caused by Huntington's disease, a cruel and incurable neurodegenerative condition that had afflicted our own great-aunt. He hadn't just found a treatment. His model suggested a complete reversal of early-stage neural decay. It was a discovery that had eluded the world's top pharmaceutical companies for decades. The news didn't come from us. It came from the prestigious Global Science Innovators Award Committee. Leo had submitted his paper anonymously, and he had won. The first anyone in my family knew about it was when the invitation arrived for the Black Tie Award ceremony at the Royal Society in London. The irony was palpable. My family, who had mocked and pitied us for years, suddenly wanted to be there for their nephew's big moment. They bought new suits and dresses, boasting to their friends about their genius relative. The grand hall was filled with the world's most brilliant minds. My family sat together looking uncomfortable and out of place. When the host announced the winner for greatest contribution to medical science and called Leo's name, a gasp went through our section. Leo walked onto the stage, looking calm and focused. He didn't look at the crowd. He looked at his notes. The host began to read the citation. Host said this year's award goes to Leo Evans for his groundbreaking work in protein synthesis, which has yielded a proven curative therapy for Huntington's disease, a discovery that will save millions of lives. The screen behind him lit up with complex molecular models and the data I had seen in our garage. The audience of scientists gave him a thunderous standing ovation. My family sat frozen in their seats, their faces a canvas of utter shock and dawning. It's profound shame that the host handed Leo the microphone. He looked out at the crowd, then directly at our family's table. Leo said, "Thank you. I could not have done this without one person. My mother. She never saw me as broken. She never laughed at my mind. She gave me a safe place to think. While others whispered that I was useless, she told me I could change the world. This cure is for her." He didn't say another word. He didn't need to. The condemnation was in the silence he left for them. The spotlight that was on him seemed to illuminate their every past sin. My brother Tom looked down at his hands. My sister Linda was crying silent tears of shame. My mother couldn't meet my eyes. As the crowd cheered. They slunk away from the table, too ashamed to even offer congratulations. The people who had called him a burden and a robot had just watched him receive the highest honor in science for saving lives. We left the ceremony and never spoke to them again. Leo's cure is now in global trials, and his name is spoken with reverence in medical journals. The family that mocked him now tells people they always knew he was special, but we know the truth. I learned that a mother's love can build a stage for a genius to shine, and that sometimes the sweetest revenge is a silence filled with world-changing achievement. But their shame quickly turned into a desperate, greedy desire to share in his success and wealth. The letters, the lawsuits, and their attempts to claim credit for his upbringing began soon after the ceremony, leading to a final legal confrontation that tested the very meaning of family. If you want to see how we protected Leo's legacy and peace from their sudden, selfish interest, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Tap the notification bell because the battle for his genius had only just begun. Only just begun.